Hey Walker, if you're looking for easy mounts to obtain that you can do in less than 19.1 minutes, you've come to the right place. I'll show you which mounts you can get, where to get them, how long it takes, and what to do. I'll be assuming that you've got a current max level character for all of this stuff, just so you're prepared. And in this video alone, we'll cover more than 30 mounts in total as fast as possible, and we'll start from the current expansion, Shadowlands, and move our way backwards. So let's start with the Wildseed Cradle. It's a pretty unique mount, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to obtain, and it is a guaranteed mount as well. All you have to do is a small puzzle in Ardenweald. You have to help out an NPC in Ardenweald called Twinklestar. You have to find her gardening tools, which she misplaced somehow. All the tools are located around the Garden of Night in Ardenweald. There are 5 items that you have to find: the Diary of the Night, Gardener's Hammer, Gardener's Basket, Gardener's Flute, and Gardener's Wand. They are located at these 5 locations. They are small items on the ground that don't glow, so they can be a little tricky to notice, but I believe in my viewers and that you have the intelligence required to locate them. I'll also leave the coordinations in the description for you to copy and paste into the game, and I'll have a little footage running here in the background if you haven't noticed. Once you've collected all 5 tools, click on any of them to create Twinklestar's gardening toolkit. Once this is in your bag, head to Twinklestar, located here. She'll now have the dialogue option that will grant you a buff called Moonsight, and once you have this, you'll be able to see the cache of the moon right behind her, and inside this will be the Wildseed Cradle. The second mount from Shadowlands is the Shimmermist Runner. This mount is also a 100% guaranteed mount that takes just about 3 minutes from arriving at the start if you know what to do. It's obtained from clicking an untargetable NPC in Ardenweald at Mistvale Tangle, which is this small maze kind of looking thing. The mount can be interacted with after killing a rare spawn called Shisker. However, Shisker is not available to attack before you figure out a small puzzle. The puzzle is just that you have to run a specific path from start to finish in the Mistvale Tangle, and this is the exact route on map. I'll quickly let this clip run as well, showing you the path from start to finish. If you notice the blue lamps around the gateways in the maze, those are the indicators for which way to go. And when you complete the puzzle, Shisker will appear, just kill him and obtain the Shimmermist Runner. While you're in Ardenweald at Mistvale Tangle, you might as well go ahead and get the Spinemaw Gladechewer. This little cutie is a 100% drop for the whole group from a rare spawn called Gorm Tamer Tiso. But to spawn Tiso, you have to kill these little bitches in the Mistvale Tangle. The specific percent chance for him to spawn is unknown to me, but I've done it like 4 times to help out friends and stuff, and we've never spent more than 15 minutes farming these little bitches. So yeah, just go ahead and kill them for a while, and soon you'll have your own cute little beetle. And while farming for Tiso to spawn, you might obtain an item called Unusually Large Mushroom, which is a key to obtain another easy mount, Arboreal Gulper. This froggy is also a 100% drop chance from a rare spawn in Ardenweald. Almost all mobs in Ardenweald has a small chance to drop the unusually large mushroom, so you probably won't have to really farm for it. You'll just acquire it at some point doing other content in Ardenweald. And when you do, it'll be nice to know what to do with it. Once you get it, head to this specific spot in Ardenweald. Remember, coordinations will be in the description. Here you'll find a damp loam. Click it and a mushroom rare spawn called Humon'gozz will spawn. It might not be soloable for newly dinked 60s, but it's a pretty easy guy, and also it drops for the whole group participating. So if you happen to find someone else who has gotten the mushroom, you can leech off of that person and get the mount in no time. From obtaining this room, which kind of just happens, to obtaining the mount is about 5 minutes. We're now heading off for another expansion, and we're actually skipping both BFA and Legion, as there's really no mount from these expansions that can guaranteed be obtained from scratch within 19.1 minutes. But in case I missed some, please let me know in the comments, and I might cover them in a future video. So, now we're headed off to Warlords of Draenor, and the next mount is called Garn Nighthowl, which is a Wolfen mount from Warlords of Draenor. This mount is a 100% drop chance from a rare spawn in Frostfire Ridge, located here. It's got about a 15-minute respawn timer, so even if it was just killed when you arrive, you'll be able to get it within those 19.1 minutes. There's also another possibility to obtain this mount, which is on the auction house, because the mount is actually BOE. And because it's so easy to get, it goes on the auction house for practically nothing. So if you're rich in gold or just have like 1k and you don't have any time, you might as well just get it here. In the same category, we have the Coalfist Gronnling. It's obtained from a mission on your garrison's missions table. So to be realistic, if you're starting from scratch, it'll probably take more than 20 minutes to set up your garrison and obtain the mission. But the mission is so common and easy that everyone that played Warlords of Draenor has this mount, and some people still have a steady flow of this mount coming into their bags if they make gold from their garrison. And this means that this mount goes on the auction house for pretty much the same amount of gold as Garn Nighthowl, which is very cheap. So you might as well just pick it up. And seeing as 99.9% of people can make like 1,000 gold in way less than 19 minutes, I thought I'd include this mount. We'll now head to Mists of Pandaria. And next up, we have 3 mounts kind of bundled into one. They are the Primal Raptors. We have the Black Primal Raptor, the Red Primal Raptor, and the Green Primal Raptor. To get these, head to Pandaria and fly way north to this little island called Isle of Giants, where a ton of Dino Boys reside. All of these Dino Boys have about a 1 to 9% chance of dropping an item called Primal Egg, depending on which mob you kill, so you can pretty quickly obtain one for yourself. And after you loot a Primal Egg, all you have to do is wait 3 days for it to hatch, and it will guaranteed contain one of these 3 types of Primal Raptors. The only thing to worry about is that it is not guaranteed that they will hatch into a color of raptor that you don't already have. So you could get unlucky and obtain the black one like 9 million times in a row, but it is pretty unlikely. And while you're on the island, if you happen to get unlucky with the egg farming, it's worth noting that the dinosaur bones that the mobs also drop can be turned in for a mount when you've collected 9,999 of them. These are also tradable, so you can find some on the auction house pretty cheap if interested. Next up, we'll head to Cataclysm, and this is for the Vashj'ir Seahorse. This water-only mount comes from the starting quest chain when you head to Vashj'ir. For Horde, you start the quest chain at Commander Thorak, located here in Dorothar. And for Alliance, you can start the quest chain at Recruiter Burns, located here in Stormwind. Follow along on this quest line, which is very simple until you get the quest, The Abyssal Ride. The quest will be the 12th for the Alliance and the 13th for the Horde, and it will always award you with the mount Vashj'ir Seahorse. While we're at the Seahorses, I might as well just mention Reins of Poseidus. This mount actually drops from a pretty rare spawn. But recently I've seen this on the auction house going for less than 1,000 gold, and it used to go for more than 100,000 gold, because it can be rather hard to farm actually. But I suppose someone found a trick to farm this. Anyway, I suggest you pick it up while it's cheap, since farming this mount the intended way is definitely not easy. From Seahorses to Landhorse, next up is the Amani Battle Bear. This guy drops from a time challenge in the dungeon called Sulaman. To obtain this Landhorse, you want to head to Ghostlands in the Eastern Kingdoms. Make sure the dungeon difficulty is set to heroic before entering, as it does not drop on normal. Head inside once you're sure. Once inside, speak to Vol'jin. He'll then ring the gong on your left and the timer will begin. All you have to do is basically kill the first 4 bosses within the timer, and seeing as I heard you're called 2-minute man at your work, this shouldn't be a problem. The order that I kill the bosses in are I kill the bottom left boss, then head to the bottom right, then top right, then top left. The order doesn't really matter, to be honest, so just do whatever feels natural to you. When you're at Halasi and you've killed all 4 bosses, you want to free the prisoner in these cages. The prisoner will become Link from Zelda and destroy all vases in the room. In the third and final vase, you'll find a treasure bag called Cash's Bag, and this will contain the Amani Battle Bear, assuming you've done it within the timer, which is like 19.1 minutes. Next up, let's head to Wrath of the Lich King, which is where we'll find the most mounts actually. And we'll start off with the Black and Twilight Drakes. They both come from the Raid Obsidian Sanctum located in Wormrist Temple, which is found in Dragonblight Northrend. The Black Drake comes from 10-man difficulty and the Twilight drops from 25-man difficulty. When you reach Wormrist Temple, you want to find this giant crack in the ground, fly into it, and the raid will be located straight ahead once you get inside. Remember to set the legacy raid size to either 10 or 25 man, depending on which mount you need or want. You will be able to do the raid once a week. So if you only have one character and you're missing both, you'll have to wait for the weekly reset to get one of them. But if you have two characters, you can get both straight away within like 8 minutes. And once you set the difficulty, just head inside, walk straight to the big boy Drake in the middle of the room without killing any bosses in there. You can kill all the trash you like, but you must not kill the 3 Drake bosses around the edges of the room. Go straight to the final boss, Sartharion, in the middle, and straight up one-shot him. He will 100% drop either the Black or the Twilight Drake, depending on difficulty, as long as you didn't kill the other bosses first. Once Sartharion is dead, you can freely kill the rest of the mobs and bosses headed to kill you. Loot your free mount while you pet your dog, take a sip of your beer, give your significant other a kiss on the forehead, and hit the subscribe button. Next up is the Bronze Drake, which is famously known to be one of the easiest mounts to obtain in the game. To obtain the bad boy, head to Caverns of Time through the portal in either Stormwind or Orgrimmar and fly to the dungeon entrance all the way inside Caverns of Time, located here. Make sure the difficulty is set to heroic before you enter. And once you're inside, talk to Chromie, then head outside, reveal some grain with zombie corona in it by using an item you've received. Once revealed, head on over to Stratholme, just following the road. Speak to Chromie just outside and wait for the roleplay to happen. Follow Arthas inside and speak to Arthas again, and finally the dungeon will begin. And just like the Battle Bear in Suleiman, you'll have to beat a timer, which wouldn't be a problem for you, would it? You need to get to a special boss before the timer ends. In the first phase of the dungeon, you'll find flags with waves of mobs on the map. Kill them all until a boss appears, kill him as well. Repeat till 2 bosses have been killed. From here, you head to the town hall where you'll see Arthas outside. Speak with him and follow him around. Another boss will spawn inside. Kill it and speak to Arthas once again. From here, you just have to move forward, and when you get to the passage where you can head to the last boss, skip him and move on just around the corner. You'll find a special boss called the Infinite Corruptor. Kill this guy, and you'll receive the Bronze Drake as loot. We'll stay in Wrath and head to the Argent tournament. Here you'll have 5 more mounts that can be obtained super quickly. However, you can only obtain 1 for each of the respective races you have leveled on either faction. The trick is pretty simple. Inside the Argent tournament tent located here, you'll find quartermasters for all the races that were available back in Wrath, and for each of them, there is a mount that can be purchased for 5 champions seal and 500 gold. Normally, you'd have to go through like a week's worth of dailies and a questline to start obtaining the champions seal for dailies, but since we only need 5, there is a much easier and faster way. All you have to do is head to the dungeon right at the Argent tournament grounds, set it to heroic before entering, and you'll receive a champion's seal for each boss killed. There is 3 bosses in total, and the clear time is around 5 minutes. So you'll be able to buy 1 mount for like 10 minutes of low-level dungeon. As a human, you can buy the Swift Grey Steed for 500 gold, 5 seals. As a dwarf, you can get the Swift Violet Ram. Gnome, you can get Turbo Strider. Draenei, the Great Red Elk, and as Night Elf, the Swift Moonsaber. And for the Horde, there is a mount for Blood Elves, Orcs, Taurens, Trolls, and Undead as well. I don't have footage for those though, as I don't play Horde, sorry. Last up in Wrath, we'll take a look at the achievement mounts for Ulduar and Icecrown Citadel. And the first one I'll cover is the Icecrown Citadel one, which is super duper easy. The achievement will take you around 38 minutes in total, but you'll get 2 mounts, so let's divide that and you have 19 minutes. We're talking about the Icebound Frostbrood Vanquisher for the 25-man version of the achievement and the Bloodbathed Frostbrood Vanquisher for the 10-man version. Set the raid size to whatever size you want the achievements in. You have to bring a class with heal to get all the achievements. Keep in mind that all achievements can be done on normal, and it will make it slightly easier for the achievement on the Lich King. I'll show you why later. Get ready for the fastest guide in the world. Let's begin. Enter the raid, one-shot first boss, get achievement, pull the second boss, then AFK for 4 seconds, then one-shot the boss and only the boss with single target to get the achievement. One-shot the ship boss, get achievement, Sourfang, one-shot, get achievement. Festergod, Rotface, Putricide is a one-shot. Blood Prince Council is a one-shot, get achievement. Blood Queen Lanathel is a little bit different, you have to kill her twice. Once while being bitten and once without. So if you've never killed her before, you can one-shot her first week immediately, and then the next week you can AFK for 20 seconds and get bit and then one-shot her. Then you'll get the achievement. If you've done the raid before, check your achievement progress to see if you've done it while bitten or not, and do the one you require. Valithria is a one-shot heal, get achievement. Centrigosa, one-shot, get achievement. The Lich King is an AFK for 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and then you one-shot him. If you're on heroic difficulty for the Lich King, you'll have to position yourself with your back against the stairs to the throne, or you'll get knocked off the platform from one of his abilities. And that's it. Next up is the Ulduar achievement, which also awards you with 2 mounts, the Ironbound Proto Drake and the Rusted Proto Drake. This glory achievement is a little bit more complicated than the ICC one, but it is still very easy and can be done within 35 minutes, and you get 2 mounts from this, so that's effectively less than 19 minutes for both mounts. The explanation would take too long to fit in this video though, so I've just included a link in the description to the best video on this achievement that I could find, and I hope you can figure it out. Finally, we're headed to Vanilla WoW for the scarabs from Anquiraj, which my name is actually inspired from. These nightmare fuel bugs come in 4 different colors: green, blue, yellow, and finally the red one. And why would you subscribe to my channel? Because the sub button is red. Unfortunately, these mounts are unusable outside of Anquiraj, which means they are pretty much useless. But they do, however, add to your achievement mounts collected progress, so you want them anyway, right? They have a pretty high drop chance from almost any mob inside AQ40, with the red one having a lower drop chance than the rest, but also awarding an achievement. To farm them, you can either clear the trash up till the first boss, run out and reset the instance and do it again until you have all 4 scarabs, or you can just clear the whole raid, and if you don't get them all, just wait till next week if that suits you better. That is totally up to you. Now that we've covered all the expansion, let's cover some of the cheaper vendor mounts that most people could probably just buy right away. And there is quite a lot actually. First up, we have May Francis, who is located in both the old and the new Dalaran right here. From her, you'll be able to pick up 4 new mounts: Reins of the Armored Brown Bear for 675 gold, Armored Snowy Griffin for Alliance for 1.8k, and Armored Blue Windrider for Horde for 1.8k as well. Reins of the Woolly Mammoth for 9k, and finally the Reins of the Traveler's Tundra Mammoth for 18k gold. So that's 4 mounts in total for 29,475 gold, which is not that much these days. You'll also be able to pick up all the faction flying mounts from May Francis if you don't already have these. Next up is Uncle Big Pocket, located in Kunlai Summit in Pandaria, and he'll sell you another 3 mounts. 2 of those are very cheap, and the last one is a bit spicy for most people, I think. But we're of course talking about the Reins of the Blonde Riding Yak for 3k gold, Reins of the Grey Riding Yak for another 3k gold, and the Reins of the Grand Expedition Yak, which is also the one with a transmogrifier and a vendor on it, for 120,000 gold. Next up, we have the Guild Vendor. The Guild Vendor actually sells 4 mounts, however there is some slight requirements, but maybe you just happen to be part of a guild that's already qualified for the purchase of these 4 mounts, or maybe you're not part of any, and in that case you can probably rather quickly find a guild with the achievement needed where you can join as a social or whatever. And we are talking about 4 mounts. First up is the Reins of the Dark Phoenix. This one just costs 3k gold, and unlocks if the guild has completed the achievement Guild Glory of the Cataclysm Raider. The next 3 mounts I'm going to talk about here requires you to be exalted with your guild reputation. But if you've been part of a guild and you actively play, you're probably already exalted with it. So I'll just mention these 3 real quick. Reins of the Golden King for 1.5k for Alliance requires the guild to be 25. The Horde version is the Korkron Annihilator for 1.5k gold as well. Blacksteel Battle Boar for 4k gold requires the guild to have the achievement Guild Glory of the Draenor Raider. And lastly, the Reins of the Thundering Jade Cloud Serpent requires the guild to have the achievement Guild Glory of the Pandaria Raider and costs 3k gold. Last but not least, we have a trick that most people probably heard about already if they are interested in getting that mount count up. But for those who doesn't know about it, this will get quite a significant increase in their mount collection. We're of course talking about the ordinary race-specific mounts. Say if you're playing only human, you'll be missing all the race mounts from gnomes, night elves, dwarves, worgans, and the Draenei. And using the class trials, you'll be able to buy all of them within 10 minutes. In total, that's around 45 mounts on either faction. All you need to do is simply go to the character create page, check this little box off saying class trial, and create the character in the race where you need mounts from. It will instantly become level 48. You can then go to your main character and send it a few gold, then log onto it, halfstone from the boat that you spawn on, and lastly just head to the race specific mount vendor, which matches the race that you created, and you'll be able to buy the race specific mounts straight up. A little bonus mount can be obtained if you create a paladin, as paladins have class specific mounts. However, these mounts only count towards your total mount count if you actually play a paladin. Thank you so much for watching this far. I hope you've enjoyed the video and gotten yourself a new mount or two. Also, thank you to all my Patreons that make this video possible. You'll see the names on the screen now. And last but not least, please consider liking if you liked the video, subscribe if you subscribed the video, and leave a comment for Mr. Algorithm with what kind of video you want to see next. Again, thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye.